Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. How are you beautiful people today? It's almost Friday. We've survived most of the week. Hey, do me a favor, if you enjoy my work, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. Here's a terrifying thought. Chris Proudfoot's mother, Kathy Bowersox, has a first cousin who is a licensed funeral director and embalmer. The funeral home, which I'm not going to name, offers cremation. It's a scary thought, sorry. I will say, however, that the funeral home has a very cool history. Apparently, the establishment dates back to 1856, and one of the original owners actually served in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. Yes, the Confederate Army, the one fighting for the South, not the Union Army. And this information is on the funeral home's website. It's very interesting. I'm a history buff, so I love anything about the Civil War. And I am even interested in the commanders who fought on both sides, whether it was the Confederate Army or the Union Army. I think it's all very, very interesting. Now, of course, we can't say if Kathy Bowersox's first cousin would be involved in Chris Proudfoot's affairs. But we've heard from Chris's fourth ex-wife, Nina Gomez, about how vicious Chris, his stepfather, Terry Bowersox, his mother, Kathy Bowersox, his sister, Melissa Proudfoot, his uncle, known as Big D, and Katie Proudfoot, too, were to her and her two children. Nina said either Chris or Kathy Bowersox literally threw baby Faith, that's the baby that Nina has with Chris, to Nina when she was about to leave Tennessee to head home to New Mexico with her father, her two kids, and baby Faith. Thankfully, Nina caught the baby. Nina said that during the same encounter, which took place outside a police station in Gallatin, Tennessee, Melissa Proudfoot told Chris, after he hopped into Nina's truck, to put the truck in reverse and run over Nina. That's a horrendous thing to encourage someone to do, especially to a mother, her baby, and her two other kids. Nina was so frightened by Melissa's suggestion that she ordered her kids to immediately get out of the truck's back seat. Who would suggest such behavior? How many families are there where more than one family member would engage in and condone that type of cruel, dangerous, and traumatic behavior? If what Nina said is true, and I have no reason to not believe her, it does seem like Chris's relatives might assist him in nefarious activities. This is just my opinion. I'm speculating. Obviously, nobody's been charged in connection with Sebastian's disappearance yet, thus we can't say for sure if anybody did anything wrong, but you have to wonder about a family that would work as a unit to try and separate a baby from its mother. Would they work as a unit to get rid of a child and cover it up? I would like to believe that they are not that evil, but what they did to Nina is evil, and it was the whole crew who was involved. So I'm just saying.
There was just so much chaos coming from the Proudfoots, and we went outside very humbly, and he took us in back of the courthouse the other way, and right there and then I hit my knees. I finally could be relieved, like a big, oh my God, we did this. And he said, 8:30, go pick her up. I said, thank you, Mr. Edwards. I said, I owe you my life to get you helped me get my baby back. So then we went back to our truck, And we went back to the apartment. We packed what we could. And we pretty much left everything else behind in the storage unit. At that time, I didn't need anything. Because I had everything I've ever wanted. So I remember my dad saying, "Come on, we gotta go." So we went to the sheriff's department. And we showed up, and I remember I told my dad, I said, "Wait here." I said, "Stay at that Wendy's." So my dad stayed at that Wendy's waiting for me, and he said, "Okay," he's like, "You call me when you're on your way so I can follow you out, okay?" And I said, "Okay, Dad." We got to the sheriff's department. Christopher and his Michael, Linda, Kathy, Big D, Melissa, his whole entire family was there. So then the exchange was happening, and they live streamed me on Facebook. They said, "I can't believe the judge awarded her custody." You know, and there, I was just standing there, I remember, and I said, "Can I have my baby back, please?" And I remember his mother had her phone in her hand, or his mother, yes, and she had a brown paper sack full of diapers and a dirty bottle. And she threw it at me, and she said, "I think you're going to need this," laughing. Then I said, "Thank you." And my two younger children were sitting in the back. And then I said, "Okay, can I have Faith back now?" So I forget if it was Kathy or Chris, but they tossed her at me, and I caught her. And I said, "Thank you." So then I get her in her car seat, trying to buckle her up and telling my kids, I said, "You need to buckle up." I said, "Okay, we're going to leave." I remember at the time, my front door had opened at that time, and Christopher got inside of my driver's seat of my truck. And everybody was still filming, live streaming me on Facebook. And Melissa Proudfoot had said, "Why don't you put it in reverse and drive over her?" And I told my kids, I said, "Get out. I'm trying to get Faith out again." And I told my kids, and I remember he put the truck in reverse. And I told my kids, I said, "Get out." I said, "Jump, get out." And I remember them getting out as fast as they could. And we're running into the sheriff's department, and I had Faith, and I'm running, and I'm yelling, and I'm asking for help. I said, "Somebody please help me." Nobody came out.
Smash that like button. I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. We're having a rainstorm in Phoenix. That's a rarity.